Life as We Know It with Tom Walton.
Over the years, while my kids were growing up, our family had a favorite vacation. We'd pick a national park and go there. America is so blessed with natural beauty and so fortunate that previous generations of leadership made sure these outdoor cathedrals of stone and water and wildlife were protected for all time from development and destruction by human greed and ignorance. My family and I were especially lucky that my professional life took us to California for many years, where we quickly discovered the national park that remains our favorite half a century after our first visit. Yosemite National Park, memorialized in the words of naturalist John Muir and the stunning artistry of photographer Ansel Adams, is one of America's most magnificent. All of our national parks are beautiful, but I put a few in a category of their own, the best of the best, the truly elite examples of what nature and God have wrought. Yosemite's in that group. So is Yellowstone. So is the Grand Canyon. Those have always been my big three. It's possible that your own personal big three national parks match mine. It's also true that due to geography and accessibility issues, millions of Americans never make it to Yosemite, high up in the Sierras in Northern California. And if you've never been there, it probably doesn't make your list. Like Yellowstone, which is so sprawling it sits in 3 states, Yosemite is vast, as big as the entire state of Rhode Island. You could make the case that Yosemite is 3 parks, not 1. There's the high country, there's the grove of giant sequoias at Wawona, and there is the awe-inspiring splendor of Yosemite Valley, where massive granite monoliths El Capitan and Half Dome remind us that God is great and we are small. Forged from fire and ice, Yosemite Valley and its raging waterfalls excite the senses. There is so much to see and hear and smell. A dozen years ago, I hiked Yosemite's John Muir Trail to Half Dome with my daughter, a 16-mile round trip from the valley that started before dawn and ended as nightfall was closing in. It was a humbling experience and a memory we both treasure. Today I have a magnificent photograph of Half Dome that hangs on the wall of my den as a reminder of that day. It's an Ansel Adams, of course. Nobody ever conquered the light and shadows of Yosemite better than the master himself, a gentleman it was my honor to call a friend during our California years. I also have a snapshot of my daughter turning a cartwheel atop Half Dome, her way of celebrating her achievement. Like the Adams print, it's priceless. As I age and I reflect on all the national parks I have visited over the years, I've decided to expand my list of favorites from 3 parks to 4. A few years ago, I explored the 5 national parks of Utah, and while all are truly spectacular, it is the smallest of the 5, Arches National Park, that inspires me the most. If you and your family are contemplating a summer vacation, at least consider a national park. It doesn't matter if it's one of my favorites. I promise it will become one of yours.
Life as We Know It is written and hosted by Tom Walton and is a production of WGTE Public Media. Life as We Know It with Tom Walton can be heard on WGTE FM 91 every Monday afternoon during All Things Considered at 5:44 p.m. Or hear past episodes at wgte.org/life.